Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Trip. Now as you know, Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Trip was a 2015 musical, animated, live-action jukebox comedy film, which was not only meant to be the fourth and final entry to the film series, but I think ending the series where it needed to be, from 2007 to 2015. So the premise of the film is meant to follow Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, who basically, after throwing a large, massive, going away / birthday party for Dave and the Chipettes, we see how Dave introduces Samantha, who is his new current girlfriend, as well as her son Miles. And we see how, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore not only have to deal with Miles' rude, obnoxious behaviour, but have to deal with the fear of basically Dave proposing to Samantha, and obviously that would make Miles the sort of stepbrother to them. And we do kind of see how, we see how Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, as well as Miles, journey out to Miami to try and prevent the whole proposal. I think what the film gets right at is showing where some of the characters are now, like Dave being a music producer now and having this more successful lifestyle. And we see how the Chipettes have gone further the distance, now being the judges of American Idol. And I kind of give the film credit. It shows that Simon, Alvin, and Theodore are no longer rock stars, but now living a more normal life. And you can tell Dave wants them to live like actual kids. And I think they do a good job in actually showing how, once a band is no longer well known, they're quickly forgotten. And this is where we're going to see the whole road trip storyline, where it's going to have a misadventure. We're going to see characters journey out, getting to know each other better. I think what the film gets right at is actually showing how Alvin, Simon, and Theodore bonding with Miles, but also having to prevent a dangerous, deranged air marshal known as James Shuggs from capturing them. And I think James Shuggs works as a villain, and I think this is a reason why he's definitely a perfect metaphor to toxic fandom, because he has a childish reason for hating the Chipmunks. He basically was once their big fan, collecting all their stuff. And I think this was the writer's way of calling out toxic fans for being childish. And I think it's like looking at Mr. Enter, Ced Magenta, as well as Christian. They were over-the-top toxic people who just didn't want to take any responsibility for their lives and actions. And I think what the film is trying to do is show how Dave is trying to do what's best for Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, but we do kind of see him questioning about them being his sort of actual children. And you do see him having to process this pretty well. But I think the rest of the film relies on over-the-top humour, like it did before, and it doesn't really use Ian as the villain from the last 3 films, as his redemption happened in the last film, and I don't think we really needed David Cross back. I think changing the villain made actual sense. So I think as a film, it's not trying to go massively big, it's not trying to go further the distance, it's just being another film aimed for littler kids. And littler kids are going to have more slapstick, over-the-top humour, and more kind of cartoony humour. And I think there are films that can go serious, but there's times where films need to be more slapstick, humoury for more younger kids. So I think this film in general definitely deserves a thumbs in the middle. It's alright, not good, but it's an okay final edition. And I think the Alvin and the Chipmunks film series is average at best. It's not trying to go further the distance, it's not trying to be massively big, it's just a product of Fox trying to do something as another brand and a franchise at the time. Because most of the films were hit and misses, they weren't trying to go further the distance, but they knew what they had to be. So I think the film series definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. I think it does get a bit overhated. I think it does get a little overboard, but I think it's an okay franchise that did what it needed to do. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.